I just had this really shit long ass week where it's just like
The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the pan. That dude Fizz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, blue jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot to death, oh yes, these are the sports podcasts live as a pros course. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the force ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and a view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season if people start five. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five. We got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five. We got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign, I'm the illest cat spit. I got what you need.
well, we back. Just chilling this time, man. I'm relaxing after a fucking long ass 6-day work week, which sometimes I get fuck my job because they try to act like you're not supposed to have a life outside of coming in, clocking in, and dealing with shitheads every day. But anyway, y'all know who I am. You see the name. We're gonna get to that in a second by way of this Olympics conversation. As always, as I'm pointing to my man and I'm pointing to the box over his head, hooksrub.com. 20% off your order using the code STARTING5 Tyrone. I'm sorry, I didn't really have an elaborate intro because I want to get back to our pre-show conversation.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready for it. I had a good work week because they brought in a new machine that essentially I have to sit there and watch as this machine does all my work. But it doesn't take away my job because we still have to be there to monitor, so to speak, just in case something goes wrong, just in case something hooks up. But the machine that they brought in does all the work by itself. And usually that's a scary thing because usually that means like, oh no, they're about to put us out of work. But because machines break down and they need to be monitored and fixed, I spent the week basically chilling. And so I ain't mad at it. You know what I mean?
So all that immigrants taking our job shit is really the machines and
Oh,
robots and
it's
AI taking our
oh
jobs.
my job in construction. Yeah, I don't care about the immigrants because the immigrants can only do labor stuff. They can only do shoveling. They're not trained to do my job. But the machines they're bringing in now that can hook themselves up, move themselves, pick up shit by themselves. Yeah, that's the shit that you really got to start worrying about.
Right. So like I said, all these people crying about the immigrants taking our jobs, it's really the machines and the AI that's taking their jobs right
Mm-hmm.
under their noses, and they complaining. Point was is they're complaining about the wrong shit.
Yeah. If you're good at your job and you do your job properly, can't nobody that don't got no experience come and take your job. That doesn't even make sense as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But I'm just talking about dumbass right wing rhetoric at
Oh yeah.
occasions. You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's all. But speaking of rhetoric, I want to get back to what we was discussing pre-show. I asked Tyrone, did he watch SummerSlam? Which of course he did. You know, it's one of the big four for WWE wrestling. So I'm definitely gonna watch it. I tried my best to watch it while I was at work, but I, again, I gave it me. I gave it a C minus, bordering a D. Pause. But Tyrone gave it a little something better, and I wanted him to continue to explain. Go ahead.
I gave it a little something better because at this point in my wrestling and watching the WWE, I've come to the conclusion that the focus is off of the wrestling. And I can see that. We can see that. Some of the matches aren't right. Some of the botches, I mean, I know botches happen, but some of them are just egregious to the point where it's like, come on, did y'all even practice this? You know what I mean? And then it's like the hoopla of the matches. It's like the matches aren't structured right. And so I've already become accustomed to some of the WWE matches being lackluster. But the build up to the matches, the storylines involved in the matches, the way the matches pan out at the end, the way they try to shock and awe and surprise, and the way they just do the show in itself is still good enough to me that I can accept the subpar wrestling. So as far as the overall show, as far as the storylines, as far as everything that happened, even though I kind of predicted it, but I like being right. So predicting it for me and being right is a joy for me. Because like I said that was gonna happen and it happened. That makes me feel good because I like to be right and I like to talk shit to people. So that is a joy for me. And because my mindset is already focused on the story and the storytelling and the hoopla and all of that, the matches being not as good doesn't take the score down as much for me. Now, can they get an A? No. But can they get a B? Solid B for last night for me? Yeah, they could get a solid B because I did enjoy the show and I did have fun watching it for what I personally was watching it for.
And I gave it a C, C minus, bordering a D. I gave it that because last night it further just explained to me visually why I stopped watching the WWE as a wrestling company. So, like, whenever I hear people talk about, oh, I was watching wrestling last night, who would you watch? You, oh, I was watching, yeah, you didn't watch wrestling. You were watching the WWE, you were watching the entertainment, the global branded entertainment company last night. And that's cool. I'm not saying this on some hate level shit, right? I'm not saying this on some hate level shit. Because, like we were discussing pre show, the WWE for both of us is for life. You know what I'm saying? It's what we were brought up on. It's what we came up, it's what got us into the door. Being East Coast kids, it's what got us into the door. But for me, viewing this company as a wrestling company when the wrestling is just like the garnish, sometimes it's the sprinkles on your ice cream, sometimes it's the rotten kale that you might sprinkle on something else. That's the wrestling aspect of things. But for entertainment purposes, trying to make moments purposes, they're great at what they do. Like last night, the moment was, and there ain't no spoilers because you can go to fucking Peacock and rewatch it now. The moment of last night was Roman Reigns came back, which Tyrone, you was stating, oh, I predicted. It's cool to be within your own bubble of prediction. Everybody predicted that whole fucking show. And then here's, so let me get back to, I'm sorry because I'm going all over the place. Here's why I thought it was a C bordering a D. Pause. No border and no D's over here. But anyway, okay. But here's why I personally thought it was a C by bordering D. The storytelling was everything for last night. It was a lot of transition in stories, a lot of things that fans have been waiting for to happen. Judgment Day finally, breaking up, Dom and the Live, John and Roman coming back, cool. But every single match had some type of interference. Every one of them. Every one of them. To me, best match of the night, it's a tie between I hate saying the name, but Logan Paul and LA Knight. And uh I yeah, Gunther. Gunther winning was that was it for me. But everything else felt too predictable, as everybody predicted. Um, it was full of just product placement and advertising. Like fucking Otis shaving his stomach was hilarious. But it that but like but then it was like that was it. Like the wrestling in my view, WWE level fashion was just get through the motions. Just go through the motion.
Right, but that's what I've already I'm already been accustomed to that. This thing it didn't just happen with SummerSlam. It's been going on for a while, so I'm accustomed to that. So now I'm invested in the stories. I'm invested in the thing. Like even the Liv thing, I was invested in that. It was like, what's Dirty Dom going to do? Because we know something's going to happen with Damian Priest and Gunther. I knew that Finn coming out there. I knew it was going to be something that was going to happen, and I anticipated and I waited for that. It's oftentimes I don't even pay attention to some of the match. You know what I mean? It's to the point where now I watch the match, but I'm not really. My focus is not on the match at certain times during the match. My focus is on, okay, we're getting to that 15-minute mark. Now I need to see what's going on. It's the same thing like how you start watching the NBA after a while. You only need to see the last 5 minutes of certain NBA games. That's how WWE matches are coming to me now. It's like, okay, the match is cool, but I really only need, when I get to that 15-minute mark, I know, okay, this is where it's going to get to the nitty gritty. This is where I'm going to get the close pinfalls. This is where the bullshit's going to happen. So for the first 10 minutes of a match, I don't really even pay that much of attention to it unless it's a banger. They do throw out some bangers occasionally, and you got to be like, okay, I'm watching this one. But for the most part, you can just wait. You can clock it. You can basically clock it and see when the good shit about to happen. And I enjoy that.
Yeah, no, yeah, and that's my issue with the company. Because again, you World Wrestling Entertainment. Just drop the shit to World Entertainment. just make it World Entertainment
You
with a
can.
dash of
That
wrestling.
incorporates too much. So you gotta put wrestling in it so that because if you
That
put
it,
world entertainment,
nigga,
it just incorporates
if
too
that
much.
incorporates too much. What have they been doing the last? I can't tell you how many years. They've been incorporating too much. But
Yeah.
actually no, they've been doing the same shit they've been doing since WrestleMania 1. Keep it real. Let's keep it real. They've been doing the same song and dance since they brought in WrestleMania 1, bringing in all the celebrities just to make appearances, things like that. My bad. Best seller of the night last night. Everybody hates him. Austin Theory was the best salesman of the night.
Hmm.
The way he sold Jelly Roll's Chokeslam, that
The
was
best
the best in-ring sales job of the night last night.
the best in ring sales job of the night wasn't even a sales job. It was Jelly Roll trying to get his ass up and couldn't. They had to help him.
But yo, they made that moment made a segment that was just like, okay, here we go again. This is usual WWE, blah blah blah, whatever. Then it just actually, for some reason, it actually became funny because A Town down, two cornballs, two guys that is like, why are they still there? And then they got they got their asses handed to them. I mean, it was typical, nothing different stuff. But for some reason it became funny. But something about it just made it funny. I was like,
I,
okay, this passes for me.
I disagree on A Town Down because the fact of the matter is they are cornballs, but that's their gimmick, that's their thing, and they're good at it, dude. Like they're good at being cornballs. They're good at making me not like them. They're good at
That's
and
all I
they're good at
said was I don't like them because they're cornballs. That's it.
they're
There's nothing
decent
to
in the
disagree with. You just
no
agreed with
no
me and then added
no
your
no.
seasoning.
No, you
I
said
didn't
you
say
you
nothing
know
else.
you said why are they there? And I'm like they there because they're good at what the WWE wants them to do. You know what I mean? Be cornballs, be hated. But they also are decent in the ring. They're not bad wrestlers. So it's like, yeah, be cornballs, get hated, and then get on the ring. put on the semi decent match, lose or whatever, and go about your business. I
Yeah,
I like
true. True. I don't know, but it is no,
it.
actually I don't not like him. Grayson Waller is the only one that is like I don't give two shits about. Austin Theory, I know, is really good. But fans hated on him crazy, part because Vince was giving him that push or whatever, or trying to make him get the push. But whatever. I think Austin Theory is really good. He just lacks a personality. Peace. What up, Omega Son? What up? What up? What up? But yeah, man, like I said, I wanted to just continue on because I felt like we was wasting ammo in the
Yeah.
backstage part, man. But this is your show. You wanted to go in on some things with the Olympics, so have at it.
So, um, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese were both left off the Olympic team, right? And now the first initial argument was, hey, they were left off the Olympic team because the 12 players that were picked for the Olympic team have experience, are better players, and the goal is to win, right? But the women's Olympic team been dominating the Olympics for a long time. They've never even been like suspect at losing. So it's like at first I was like, yeah, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese aren't better than the 12 starters on the team. They're just starting out whatever. But now when I'm seeing that there's supposed to be a push for women's basketball. There's supposed to be a push for the WNBA. We're seeing the WNBA making strides. We're supposed to get these women that are supposed to get paid more money and all of these things. We're supposed to be bringing it in. And the WNBA is on ESPN now. And things is improving for that company. So now my theory is, why not put them on the Olympic team? The whole world would get to see them. It would broadcast the WNBA in a better light, and nobody's watching the women's basketball Olympic game. Nobody's watching. And I feel like if Caitlin Clark was there and Angel Reese was there, we would get more eyes on that game because all the women that are there weren't getting eyes on the WNBA. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are. So why not send them to the Olympics?
I see what you're saying. Of course, when I talk, they gotta start fucking screaming. Hold on. I see what you're saying, right? But here's my thing with that. The Olympics ain't about marketing and promotion. Though is it did with the beginning of Dream Team and stuff like that, did they kind of start that? Yes. But it's never been about marketing and promotion. It's about winning fucking gold. Putting your best on the floor at all times, with the exception of adding Christian Laettner to the team, but that was only because, and I'm sorry, yes, I'm talking men, but that was only because you had to add a college talent. But with the women, I know I get what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but I'm sorry. Neither one of them are better than any of the women that are there. Now that could be a little bit of subjective conversation too, if we wanted to really, really go down name by name. But I don't have a problem with them not being there because it's not about the marketing. You're right in a way, yes, they could help, but it would just be helping globalize their names more than anything in the actual sport. But Asia Wilson is out there buzzing ass. Asia Wilson is the best woman in their game today. Why do we need two rookies when if fans actually gave a shit, you can sit there and watch the best in the world in action right now if you actually cared, which goes to what you just kind of ended off and said nobody's watching. I've only haven't been watching because of work and my time schedule, and then just I don't for some reason I don't like to watch I like to watch sports live. I'm not a replay guy. I'm a replay guy when it's being cut up, discussed, get to the final score, ESPN style. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a yo. Don't tell me the results. I gotta sit there and watch the guy. Nah, if the game live was passed, tell me the results. I'll see the highlights later. And Kurt said, America is all about marketing and promoting. True indeed, right? True indeed. But once again, You have the best of the best of the best women's athletes on that basketball court. Why do you need two rookies that our sports media made big names to help boost your signal when you have the best already? Take stock and take interest in who's there.
You know why you need them? Because the best wasn't boosting your signal. Andrew Wilson was fucking the
I give you
MVP.
that. I give you that. I give you that.
She was the MVP before then. She was the best player in basketball for the past year. Candace Parker, who's been in basketball, best player in basketball, went to TNT, started being on the Mel Anderson team, did everything she could to boost the WNBA. Shanae Bumake went to inside the NBA and talked about the WNBA and did everything she could to boost it. We have Dawn Staley winning in college, who always talked about women basketball, did everything to do to boost it, and nothing came of none of that. So when you got two rookies that came into the WNBA and have took it to a level that has never been taken to, when you have all these women over recent years doing everything they can to take it to that level and not succeeding, then it shows that you need them. You do. You need them. You want to boost your product, you want to boost your marketing, you need the people that's boosting your product, boosting your market. The other thing is you said it yourself. If the fans gave a fuck, they would watch. They don't. They don't. That's the problem. Basketball fans don't give a fuck about the WNBA for real. And we're trying to get them to. But you know what they do care about? They do care about Caitlin Clark for some reason. They do care about Angel Reese for some reason because we can see it in America. More people are watching the games because of those two being in them. So on a world level, why not take those two to market? And I don't care about winning because they're going to win. Them two people being on the team and taking two people off the team is not going to make a decision on whether they win those fucking games or not because they got 12 people that go and they only play 5 at a time. And if they stink it out the joint, they pull them out and they put in whoever they need to put in to win those games. But guess what is happening? People are still watching it. And that's my
Yeah, no,
point.
and you know what, like I said, I gave my point of view, I gave my pushback, though I agree with you to a point. I do agree with you to a point. Like, but it's, to me, I think this conversation is what's the priority? What's the priority? Is it pushing the game or is it winning gold?
It's
You can
pushing.
do a little bit of both. You can do a little bit of both. But like it immediately made me think of when the whole Olympics thing started and Team USA was being formed and Jalen Brown was left off for his teammate, what's his name? Derek White.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr took the approach of, I'm trying to build a winning squad with pieces that I think give me the team that I envision over, let's just put all these celebrity players on the same team. You know what I'm saying? Like he gave the team chemistry aspect of it. He gave the, I need people who are gonna be the dirty dogs that are gonna get down and do the dirty work over, I just need all the top name players.
The
You know what I'm
men,
saying? Like now for the women, I'm saying maybe I see it with the women where it's like, yeah, we're giving the top name players, but we're also giving the best of the best that are unselfish, things like that, because the women do carry the game a different way. But maybe they do need the approach of, let's get a little bit of razzle dazzle of flash and flare with some names just for the sake of names.
my thing is for the men, it's different. For the men, the priority is winning the gold because the men have failed a couple of times. They failed at the few world championships,
Yeah.
they failed at the few Olympics, right? And for the men, it is more prioritized on getting the best team. Because remember, they did have situations where they sent a bunch of stars to the Olympics and lost. So now for the men, it's like we can't just send a bunch of stars to the Olympics because the men basketball players around the world are getting better. That's why a lot of them are coming into the NBA. It's not like that for the women. It's not like that for the women at all. Women, the world women basketball players, do you see a lot of them coming into the WNBA? No, because the women basketball players around the world aren't that good enough. So for me, I think that the
Look at
women,
the size. Look at the size of that Japanese team.
I mean, That's what I'm saying. I'm saying for the women, I think because of what we want the WNBA to be in our country and what we're trying to do with the WNBA in our country, and if it's supposed to, and I know the Olympics, but I'm thinking about home first. For our country and what we want, the women, I think the priority should be the marketing because they're going to win. I can't see the women losing because they've been dominant for so long. Like I said, those two girls, they play good enough that they're not losing anything. Are they good as the 12 women that are there? No, but is the loss of the two people that they take out to put them two in, is that enough for them to lose the goal? It's not. So yeah, we're going to win. We already got winning basically in the bag. So let's do something else. Let's get the market. We got the winning. Let's get the market.
But soon as you see this, and here's that thing of though, but as soon as you lull yourself to sleep in one area, that's when somebody comes around and be like, gotcha, catch you with that hook, or catch you with that one body blow, like that woman boxer who took out the Italian woman and had the whole world up in fucking flames. That's a bar. Take that how you want. But yo, did you see the shit? I my apologies for not having their names on hand. But I really wanted to talk about this shit because recently, I think it was, where was she from? Iran or something?
Yeah.
Perfect timing for Big O. We're,
Yo,
we just diving into the the women boxing in the Olympics, and what I believe it was the woman was from Iran, I think.
one of the yeah, either Iran, Algeria, one of those places. I'm not sure.
Right, but she crumbled this
Um,
Italian woman boxer in
yeah,
46 seconds.
she was from Algeria. It was Algeria. And he
Okay.
said it.
Thank you, Algeria. I would again. I would rather be more respectful, but I don't have the names either. If somebody wants to look them up, but crumbled this Italian woman in 46 seconds, who pretty much quit. And then they started talking shit like, "Oh, she was a man," and yada yada yada. There was a
Angela,
person who just couldn't take a L because she caught body blow after body blow, and that took her ass out
her
and
name was.
made you kneel and cry.
Yeah.
I know the loser's name was Angela Carini because I'll never forget it because they kept talking about her. She cried and kneeled and so I know her name. I don't know. I don't even want to try to say them foreign names because they you gonna say them wrong anyway. They names like Calais Cloth or some shit. I don't even be trying to say their names, but I know that Angela Carini was the one that was crying.
Well,
Yeah.
Angela Crybaby got the
I thought he
brakes
was
beat
being
off of
respectful,
her.
Dad.
Angela Crybaby got the brakes beat off of her, and the only thing that they can resort to do and just say is that that woman was a man.
Wait, oh,
And
she
then
was.
it went to science. Oh, and
Oh,
it came out. No, she's only been identified as a woman. Yes, she has certain different chromosomes that other women don't have, but she was biologically, however you want to apply it, she's a woman that
Right.
whooped her ass. Oh,
oh,
Right. Yeah.
oh, wait. I want you to see if you observe the craziness, right? Dan just said, I wish we knew their names out of respect. We should know their names. And then I give him the woman's name, and then he calls her Angela Crybaby and disrespects her right after that.
well, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. I saw it. I peeped that. You got me. You got me. But yo, I'm sorry. That's the Hey, more bars. That's the definition of a sore loser, though.
I'll be honest with you. When it first came out, I was like, "Damn!" When it's funny, it's crazy how you know a human being, most human beings, anyways, when they first hear news, right, they come up with their opinion quick before getting any of the facts. And I was one of them, like, oh, because looking at her, she looked like she had a sex change. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or nothing. She doesn't look like the typical woman, I guess, have the facial features or whatever, the build or whatever you want to call it. So when I first heard it, I was like, damn, they got dudes in here getting sex changes and fighting, the women's class. But Come to find out, once you get all the facts, she was born a woman. You know what I'm saying? Now, whatever the case is, she may have different chromosomes or whatever. That's not her fault. She was born a woman. Yeah, she just took her ass whipping. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Italians, they were not happy about it. The fighter herself, her opponent came out and said, "Oh, was talking against men fighting, changing, having sex changes or whatever the case is." But she was born a woman, and you just took her ass with her. You
You,
know.
you know what I don't like? People make their opinions when they first see it, right? And you can, when she first got in the ring, I was like, holy shit, like I don't
Hmm.
know. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you think that. And then it's easy to say. It was easy for Angela to say that might be a man because that's how she looked, that's how she perceived herself. We don't know how them punches felt. She probably felt
Hmm.
like it was a man beating on her ass, you know what I mean? So all of these things set up for the assumptions, right? And that's cool. We jumped out the window, that's fine and then. But when they're showing up, bringing up her birth records, when they're showing her baby pictures, showing her pictures when she was younger, talking to her parents, and all, when they're doing all of that shit, and people are still like, no, 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 it's like, come the fuck on, man. Now I
And
know
be
you
honest,
were doing it,
be honest with you, they shouldn't even have to do all that. You know what I'm saying?
but
Exactly.
they did that.
Like, yo, y'all put all her business out there. Her birth.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But they presented all the evidence, and we still had knuckleheads. Oh, it's a cover up. I'm like, for Olympic boxing, you think they're gonna do all that shit to cover up an Olympic boxing match? The woman lost anyway. She didn't even win the gold. So what
Yeah.
was
See.
the what was been this cover up for? You know what I mean? It was like it's
Right. And
stupid
that
for
was
people
one and that
when
was
they
one of
get
the go-tos, Tyrone, was like immediately, besides the fact to have proving that this woman was a woman, they also was just like, if she was this dominant man, allegedly, right? Then why does she have 9 professional losses under her record against women?
Mm,
If she was this dominant man in boxing.
wow.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say we've said it on this show here, right? Like, and I believe in sports for everybody. I've always have. But in certain competitions, especially if you have trans athletes, let's get some type of trans league to where
no,
everybody can now kind of get on the
no,
same accord.
no.
You know what I'm saying? And different things. Now, again, if you can get certain things down to whatever, to where you can compete against, of people of the opposite sex, or not the opposite sex, excuse me, same sex, if you want to say whatever the case may be, cool. But I personally think like everybody should be able to compete in sports, no matter what. But if it
I'm,
comes to like big, large competitions like this, there should be like, a trans Olympics. And I mean that with no disrespect. I mean that out of just sheer love and want everybody to be able to play the games that they want to play.
I'm, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a hater. But here's my thing. I don't want no trans leagues. I don't. It's like we're already oversaturated with shit as it is. And then the gay agenda has been pushed. I'm not against gays, I'm not homophobic, nothing, but this gay agenda has been pushed way too far. Every TV show now gotta have a gay character. Every movie gotta have a gay character. Now they got these
What is
kids in
the
school.
agenda?
They got these kids in school saying
Everybody uses that label, but nobody knows what the agenda is
the agenda
outside
is
of just
no,
acceptance.
no. What they what
What's
they
the
want
agenda?
What they want you to believe is that the agenda is acceptance. I'm not saying it's a bad agenda. Yeah, the agenda is acceptance. That's cool. That's the agenda that they want everybody to be accepted. They want us to accept gay people. They don't want no more homophobia. They don't want people talking about transgender people. The agenda is acceptance, and you're correct. But you don't have to push it down my throat. Every movie doesn't have to have a gay character. They're pushing it, dude. They're pushing it hard
It
down our
ain't
throat.
it ain't pushed down your throat if you ain't looking for it.
But here's my whole thing though. Now you said trans fucking leagues, right? But I'm saying that if you were born a man and you're good at basketball, you don't have to join the trans league because you wanted to transition to a woman. If you were born a man and you still got those skills of playing a man, why can't the NBA say, hey, if you were born a man, we don't care what you are now, you can come play in the NBA? Why can't transgender men just go play in the NBA?
They probably gotta accept it. They gotta accept it. But again, it's such a pause on pushing down the throat. Hey yo, but they're not pushing nothing. They're not pause pushing nothing down our throats if you ain't looking for it.
Yeah,
They
tell me why.
that's you can't. You're never gonna get. You're not forcing nothing on me if I ain't looking for it.
But why can't I watch anything on TV without a gay character now? In the past few years, every TV show, every movie, everything I watched has had a gay character in it. Why is that happening?
But they are they not a part of society? Have they not have has those sexual people of that sexuality, by the way, just sexuality, have they not been within human life from day one?
Yeah, but they don't have to be incorporated in every story of every family of everything that I watch. That's all I'm saying.
So then make your own shit then.
No, I'm saying, yeah. What I'm saying is, if I made a
No,
movie,
I'm saying
no, that's my point right now. If I made a movie about me going through something with my family right now, there would be no gay person in it because I'm not. There's no gay person involved in my situation right now. You see what I'm saying? So there are instances where films and movies and shows can be made that don't have a gay person in them. Because if I wrote my story right
we'll
now, it wouldn't have a gay person in it.
I will make a point about that when we're off the show, just to remind you of something that you've let us know. But again, you don't have to you don't have to partake in if there is something in anything that you don't like, you don't have to partake in it. But you choose to, right? You choose to want to watch something and then you kick and scream, why is this in my movie? Nigga, turn the
No,
movie off.
not me.
I mean,
Turn it
I'll be honest
off.
with you. I've done that. I mean, especially if it goes too far or whatever the case is. Yeah,
If it goes
I'll
too far
stop
for your
watching.
liking, that's all you gotta do.
Yeah,
Turn it off.
like what was it? P Valley. I was thinking I was getting a show about strippers. Okay, after after the fourth episode, I was like, yeah, nah, I can't.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. So P Valley, right? The same thing. Yeah, okay, they got gay characters in there. Yeah, if you got gay characters, you got to show in the show that they're gay. You got to let people know in the show that this is a gay character. But just like O said, though, you ain't got some of them limits is pushed too far. It's like, and it's unnecessary to me. It's like we don't have to see all of what they were trying to let us see. Now, yeah, I can turn it off, and I did turn it off. I don't watch P Valley anymore. But it's just like, why do y'all even have to put that much in it? You know what I mean? It's like, what is the point
Because
of it?
it's you know what? You want to know why? You want to know why? Because it's their production, it's their money that they got to produce it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you
They
want to
telling me
see
why
shit in
they
yo, I'm saying yo,
did.
it's just like all right. Did we talk about the Robert Downey Jr. shit last week in the Doctor Doom briefly, right?
Yeah, y'all talked about it. Y'all talked about it a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I watched
Yeah.
the show. Before you go any further, Dan, I watched the show and I stopped right as soon as you said, I want to know all the cameos. I was like, up, click.
Well, good thing to know is they didn't get through all of it, so you could
Good,
finish the show. But
good,
no,
good, good.
but my point of bringing that up is we know the nerd space and the nerd culture. It'd be like, man, I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for that. That's not what I asked for. That's not what I wanted. How much money you put in on it to tell these people and tell these studios what you wanted, what you didn't want?
Yeah, yeah.
Put your own
What
money
I
up and make
mean,
your own fucking product.
dude, we are the
If you
people
don't
that
like it, turn the TV off.
look. When you go to a fucking restaurant, you're the customer. You go to a restaurant, you tell them exactly how you want your fucking steak, and you're the customer. Whether you gonna believe it or not, them people that make them shows, we the customer. We the customer. You know how many times they done change movies and change shows because we didn't like it. We are the customers. I don't care what you're saying. We the
And you
customers.
want to know how bad your analogy was in that case? Bringing up a restaurant, you're the customer to a prefixed menu. A prefixed menu means you
Yeah.
can't change shit on it.
If I can't,
You don't
because
like it? You
no.
don't like it? Go to something else.
Please, brother. I done been to plenty of restaurants around and changed their motherfucking pre-cooked menu because I'm the customer. I done been in plenty of restaurants where I said, listen, I know this coming with broccoli. I don't want fucking broccoli. I want spinach. And guess what? I get the fucking spinach on my plate. So at a restaurant, you can change their menu if they value you as the customer. And the
Well,
same thing
you
goes with
can't
movies.
change the movie. You
Yeah,
can't
you
change the
can.
movie.
You can change what they do. If P Valley starts losing all of their people, then people start saying, "Hey, it's too much gay shit in there." I guarantee you, the next season, if they lose too much of their audience, the next season, some of that gay shit is gonna be cut down
So
because
what
they.
did it? So you know what you just walked yourself right into, right? If you don't like it, if you don't if you don't like it, turn the shit off. Like Curtis
Right.
said, everyone wants to everyone wants to be represented in the media. That's really what I think this agenda is. He said, "Get your vagina snacks elsewhere."
Yeah. Listen, man, I'm not gonna. Yeah. See, here's the thing. When I play devil's advocate on this show, everybody always goes like it's me. It's not really me. I don't care about the gay shit. If I like you said, Dan, I also agree. If I don't want to see something, I turn it off. I don't care about it. But what I am saying is that it is a lot. I'm saying everything I watch now, there's a gay character, and I'm just like, okay, we get it. But if I like the movie, I like the show, I'm still gonna watch it. But I'm just saying that you can see where they're trying to incorporate them. And I know the agenda is acceptance, and that's a good agenda. But like I said before, it's being pushed. You can't deny that it's being pushed, brother.
And you know what? Let me get back to that. Everybody's been saying it's being pushed since the fucking 80s. And pause,
No.
that push has not felt the same. I mean, yes, certain things got more heightened and shit like that, but that push has been the same type of shit that's being told, and it's being told by people who allegedly don't want no parts of it in their thing. But excuse me, it seems to be on your brain heavy when you're trying to notice all that shit. But then again, yeah, like he said,
Oh,
wait until the robotic augmentation agenda gets fully pushed. This is what I was saying before. We talked about that in some other form. I already forgot how we was talking about that pre-show. We forgot about we talked about that in another form pre-show. But you can see how people get about a situation like this when we got to this conversation off of an Italian woman in the Olympics getting the brakes beat off her in 46 seconds.
Yeah, well, but when we start going down this rabbit hole, I was like, damn, boy. I'm saying to myself, damn, I wish we were all here. I wish the whole starting lineup was here to have this conversation because I would love to hear TJ and Jamal's views on it, man.
but
But
what?
I think the gay agenda that I guess the end game is population control. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess I don't know.
And
You
here
know.
we go back to the shit. I was trying to bring it back to the boxing, but
No,
y'all
no, let's bring it. Let's
y'all
just say
y'all
this then.
y'all
No,
y'all
yeah, yeah,
y'all
yeah. You're
oh
right. You're
like I
right.
mean I
You're
know
right.
Tyrone was a devil's advocate in it. You're telling your real thoughts. It
I'll
tells me what you be thinking about.
I'll bring it back to the sports though. Oh, what would you be opposed
I'm
to?
glad. Thank you for. I caught. Oh, he just didn't. He didn't even try to continue. I
Yeah.
wasn't even trying to put you out there like that. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
would you be
let me let me
would
let me
you
let me
be
take my drink,
upset?
man.
Oh, would you be upset or opposed to a woman being in the NBA, knowing that she was born a man, so it's not unfair competition and it's just inclusiveness of a transgender person. But because she was born a man, the competition is not unfair, but she's just represented as a woman inside of the NBA. How
You
is
talk
that?
wait,
Is
so
that
wait,
bad?
you talking about the NBA or WNBA?
No, I'm talking about the NBA. I'm talking about if a woman played in the NBA that was born a man, like a transgender, we know that she was
So
born a man, the competition is fair because she still was born a
let
man.
me simplify it. Let me simplify it. Oh, so Joanna Man, the movie, Joanna Man plays in the NBA instead of the WNBA.
Yeah, like that.
Right. Yeah, no, it ain't gonna work because first of all, what what position is she gonna play? She can't
She's
get down in the paint.
the
You know what I'm
man
saying?
for real.
Like,
She's a man for real though. She really is a man. A transgender woman is real. Bruce Jenner can play in the NBA, though. Caitlyn Jenner, I mean Caitlyn. Caitlyn Jenner can technically play in the NBA, right?
I don't know if we're ready for that, man.
Then
I don't know if we're ready for that. I
said we
mean,
go the whole transgender league for you.
what happened to dude that played in damn, what was his name? He got right before he got drafted. He talked about he came out as gay.
Michael Sam.
Michael
Oh yeah,
Sam, and dude was nice in college, and yeah,
that was his own.
NFL with that old money,
His,
they was not ready for it.
no, he wasn't ready for it. That's the problem. He wasn't ready for it. He
Yeah.
wasn't mentally ready for what was going to happen to him in those NFL locker rooms.
But
No, well, no, well,
what round did they get drafted in?
we
Huh?
talked about that heavy on the show back when all of this was happening. Yeah, we've been doing the show that long that Michael
Dude,
Sams was in college, got drafted, exited the league.
dude,
They took the chance on it for the PR stunt. Let's keep it real. The Rams took the chance on it for the PR stunt. And to me, I questioned at the time, how did this co-defensive player of the year in college not go higher? That's where I personally think the homophobia in that old money kicked in, and they didn't want to take that chance.
Which is why
You
I
no,
know what
said
I'm
old
saying?
money.
They didn't want to
Which
take that chance.
I don't.
But then, when Michael Sam touched the NFL field, his level of play just was not on par to keep him in the league.
Right,
mm,
but I don't think that his level of play was on par. When they did interviews with him, he wasn't mentally ready for what they was doing to him in the locker room, and I think that plays a part. Like they said, when you get on that field and players talk shit talking, it's not just about shit talking. They get in your head. So I can imagine the things that were being fed to that man out there on that field. They probably got in his head because I didn't understand why he couldn't perform. He was physically good enough. He was good enough, and I really think that they mentally got to him, and that's what messed up his performance.
I'll be honest with you. I really feel as though for one, if anyone was to ask him, do you regret coming out and saying you was gay, da da da, he would still stand by. Oh yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. He's lying. He's lying. You know what I'm saying? He should have never. The day he stopped playing football should have been the day he came out and said, "Yo, da da da, I'm this, I'm that." But once he opened his mouth and opened up that can of worms, like yo, you know how a college football locker room is. Why would you open up that can of worms and bring yourself to that in a professional locker room and on that field when they talking between snaps or whatever the case is. Yo, you're gonna get it, and if you're not mentally
Well, guess
prepared,
what? Well, guess what? This all ties back in the conversation about representation and at least some level of progression in humanity in these times. Why the fuck not should somebody be able to be themselves first and foremost?
Yeah,
I get all the I go ahead, cut me off and then let me finish my point. Go ahead, Tyrone. You
no,
shaking your head. Go ahead.
I'm waiting. I want to. Go ahead. You go. I want to hear what you really say.
Why should somebody not be able to be themselves? Regardless of whatever shit talk or whatever you're gonna say, whatever. If you are going to put yourself out there, be prepared for what comes with it.
that's
But
all I'm saying.
if we were talking representation, why the fuck not have representation? You know how many decades we've had football players who kept quiet, that they were gay just because they wanted to save face in the league and do this, that, and the third. And I'm sure people knew how, that's just up to the individual. How mentally strong are you to take them jabs and all of that? And then again, and this is coming from a person who likes to talk shit. If you're willing to talk shit, you better back it up. But if you're willing to talk shit, you better also be able to take what comes with it. And it don't and there's no limit to the level of shit talk. You know what I'm saying? So if you know what you going into, knowing that you either are keeping a secret, which it to be honest with you, what one does in the bedroom with another person shouldn't even be a fucking deal to anybody outside of said bedroom anyway. Anyway, but be prepared for whatever comes with it. Now, we can be decent human beings and just respect how others want to live. That's easy. But in sport, like y'all both said, there's shit talk that ensues. But how built are you to take it? Now, again, the Michael Sam situation, we're bringing that back up. Like, he just showed on the field that he wasn't there. He wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't there. He probably could have, but then again, how well would he have played? How mentally damaging it could have been if he just paused, ate it up, said nothing, and then tried to play. Now you're causing detriment to your team because of the mental battle that you're having here that you get yourself cut. Fuck
I like.
that. Be open. Be yourself.
So with the whole be yourself thing, right? And you saying that what you do in the bedroom is not nobody else's business, right? Then why do you gotta eat up a secret? You don't even have to keep a secret. You don't even have to say nothing. You know what I mean? You open up that can of worms when you say that you're gay. You don't have to tell them motherfuckers you're gay at all. You don't have to say that shit. You can just go play football. Your family knows, your loved ones know you're gay. Your family knows you're gay. Your aunts, your uncles know you're gay. Your cousins know you're gay. If you go in there and you just play football and you perform, even if your aunt says, hey, he tells the media, tells anybody that you're gay, when you go back to your teammates and they go, hey, you gay, bro? You can be like, yeah, I've been gay my whole life. Fuck that got to do with what I'm doing on this field. You can do that. But you have to be prepared and mentally strong enough to do that. And so for the people that go into the NFL, NBA, and all that, and they hide it, that's just telling that's on them. They're not mentally prepared to be called faggot or to be called sweetie or to be patted on the ass or to be made fun of. They're just not mentally prepared for that. So they try to hide it. But if that's causing you anguish, that's your fault and your problem. And you need to deal with that. That's not on me as a football player to go, oh, he might be gay, let me leave him alone. No, bro. Like this is football, bro. This is a man's thing. You need to be a man up. And if you want to be yourself, but be ready for what comes with being yourself. Like I talk a lot of shit. If somebody beats my ass in the street, that's my fault. Like I shouldn't be. If I can't fight, don't talk the shit. That's me. So that's how I see it.
I think too. We also have to realize that okay, us being where we're from, the East Coast, I say primarily tri-state area. We have that mindset. Like okay, yeah, whatever happens in the bedroom, that's your business. Whatever. As long as it doesn't, as long as you don't come my way with it, whatever. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people in this country do not have that same mentality. They're gonna tell you, oh, it's wrong, it's this, that, whatever the case is. So we also have to keep that in mind as well. You know.
I would just like to remind all the people listening to the show and watching the show, the people who had the strongest feelings against this shit, right? They let me know where their minds were by keeping the conversation on this and spinning it off of a boxer, a woman boxer with high testosterone who beat the brakes off another woman in 46 seconds, but who decided to let their thoughts be exposed. I'm not calling my partners like Mr. Furley. I'm just saying, I'm just talking shit right now. I'm
It
just
went,
talking shit.
it went here. It really went here because you said that we would have been over it until you said you wanted to start transgender sports leagues, and that was like,
No, but Tyrone, that's a stance that I've had in this almost decades long journey within this podcast called the Starting Five. And like I said, and I described it in that instance because again, I do believe that like everybody should have sports. Everybody should have sports. But as soon as you want to start, parsing shit down and my bad, I gotta go back. I'll get back to my point. Ed said a lot of sports fans are cock watchers, worried about what holes these athletes be filling. The problem is the
You.
fans. Absolutely. Absolutely. The problem is the fans. But my point is everybody should have sports. Everybody should have sports. I can show my upstairs neighbors, kids that you hear screaming all show, out here playing a little bit of, you know, soccer with each other, football if you're not from America, and having a good time at all times. You know what I'm saying? My kids, they when they want to come outside and they'll play soccer with each other, roller skate, whatever, any kind of little sports activity, whatever. Sports is for everybody. But I'm stating on a competition level, if you're going to cry because as the name that I've historically brought up on this show, Mac Beggs was a trans athlete from Texas who was a wrestler, woman transitioned into a man. This person wanted to wrestle men because of a level playing field. Wanted to wrestle men. The state of Texas said, no, your birth certificate says this, you have to wrestle them. So then it looked unfair that she was dominating every single woman she was on the mat with, or female she was on the mat with. This is one of those aspects where people they don't bring that up no more because Mac Beggs wanted to pursue a fair level of play because she was transitioning to a he and wanted to compete against the men. A state told her no. Legislation, paperwork, fucking nonsense told her no. But she gave, excuse me, this person gave what they wanted to. They said what they wanted to do. They tried. They pushed. They fought to try to get to where they thought that they belonged. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to have these roadblocks in the way in these states by way of laws because of crusty old white men who are fucking homophobes and only want to see the country in a certain light, then let's make shit fair for everybody.
He
If
just
there were, and here's my last point. If you can have the Ocho, which they was showing ESPN yesterday. If you can have the Ocho and they're showing all these alternative sports and shit like that, or I'll take it like this comedian called Pickleball. They call this comedian called Pickleball short bus tennis, which that shit had me crying.
not bad,
But
man.
if you can have all of these different types of shits created, sports created and shit like that, and even have mixed events within some of these sports, like what's stopping making an equal level playing field for trans athletes? What's stopping it other than somebody with money because cash rules everything around this country? But what's stopping that from other than money? Maybe that's a quest that I should do. Maybe that's something I should try to be the leader in charge of. Start like a trans Olympics or something. And have these competitions, but then you just have to science got to come into play. Levels got to be at certain places.
That's what I was about to say. That you have to figure out the science on that because if you were born a man and you transgender, say after you were like 25 years old, then you're physically a man, which means that if you played in the NBA, that's if you played on the transgender team with a woman that was born a woman, you're there's not a level playing field if you're taking testosterone and she's not. You know what I mean?
And you know what though, Tyrone? But here's a little bit of pushback to that. Here's a little bit of pushback to that, right? Derek White, LeBron James. I'm just going there.
Yeah,
Are
I get
they
it.
on the same level playing field?
No.
Game over. Game over. Right or wrong?
Right.
Right
You're
or
right.
wrong?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? These
Absolutely
leagues
right.
as is aren't the same level playing field. So what are we getting at? What are we getting at? We don't have a league of every nigga's LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a league where every quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. Imagine that. How fun would that be? Nobody's on a level playing field.
Yeah, right.
There's a reason why niggas never see the light of day off the bench. But like I said, let's go to the rec league and Brian Scalabrine will cook your ass. You know what I'm saying? So like that argument, it's just it's to me, it's just arguments that and I'm not disrespecting y'all. And if you take it in disrespect, I mean no disrespect with this. This is talking to the masses. It's just multiple levels of homophobia in display to just say these people shouldn't have. It to me, it's a level that displays I don't want these people to exist. Same way that they didn't want us black folks to exist. Same way that us black folks are still 3/5 human in the Constitution. You get what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. I was like, I I want the same equalities for everybody, just across the board in life in general. But when it comes to sports, sports should be the great equalizer, yet the great divider in talents and what you
and,
can and can't do.
and that segues right into
Legalize
a good point.
steroids again.
That segues right into a good point I have about Sha'Carri. Sha'Carri won fucking silver in the 100 meter yesterday, right? And this girl was like, where she, cause of what she comes from, cause she's brass, so she said fuck the media, cause she's black and she represents her blackness to the fullest, right? Her winning silver in the Olympics is not being celebrated as much as it should be. Did they want her to win gold? Should she have won gold? Maybe, maybe not though. She was never in the 100 meters. She was never, ever, ever the primary person to win that. You know what I'm saying? She worked hard to get even to be able to be in competition for the 100 meters. So for her to go to the Olympics and to take silver and to only lose that race by 3/10 of a second, we should be celebrating this girl. And people are talking about she lost. Silver medal in the Olympics is not losing. So she's being treated like that just because of her image, just because she got caught smoking weed before, and just because she don't give a fuck about the media. And that's I feel like they're treating this girl so bad right now when she deserves to be praised for where she came from and how hard she worked to get there. And the silver medal in the Olympics is not a loss. And they're treating her like she's a fucking loser.
Yeah, hey, listen, it's an accomplishment. I mean, I'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that none of the Jamaicans ran, like it could have been, she probably wouldn't even been on the podium if they had ran. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this girl came out of nowhere. I think she placed in the world championships. Alfred, the girl from St. Lucia, but yeah, man. I mean, she was on a mission. Shakiri, you know, with that whole nonsense with the marijuana in Tokyo and shit. So yeah, nah, props to her. That is an
And
accomplishment.
she's being celebrated amongst black folks online. But I agree, Tyrone. It's like larger media isn't celebrating it the same. But my perspective on it is track and field is is kind of like is a staple for Americans to win at some sort of a level, to where it just doesn't hit the same. Where there's a lot of other people who, you know what it is with to me, I guess with Shakari, it was the brash, it was the early shit talk, which she stripped all of that down to humble herself and be like, yo, like, nah, I'm here all about business, right? So people still never forget the shit talking Shakari.
Right,
They
right,
still never forget the big hair, long nails, standing out, colorful Shakari. So they want her to back that up. But then you go to the gymnastics team, and Simone Biles is getting celebrated because something you talk about a lot, Tyrone, is when you're the best, uphold your level of dominance. And Shakari was one of, if not the best in the world at the 100 for a few years. For a few years. from her coming out, and even on a lot of the tour races and stuff like that, she was one of the best, if not the best. So I think it's a matter of back up your dominance. There's a lot of other. Uh, I'm just going to specifically talk women, but there's a lot of other women Olympians who are getting their media shine right now because it's first evers. Like, shout outs to the girl who first ever black woman to win a medal in fencing. She got a silver, but was celebrated because it was a first. You know what I'm saying? The women's rugby team, which we left, I forgot her name is Ilya Mar or something like that. 6'6", gigantic woman. People were talking shit trying to say she was a man too. No, she's just a very large woman. They won, I think, for the first time with bronze, but they're propping her up because of said, sexuality, ignorant comments, and the fact that women's rugby actually medaled.
Mhm.
The women's rugby actually medaled. Where in track and field, we almost expect a woman to medal or even a man to medal. It just becomes like that norm. It becomes like that norm. And
Yeah.
and so it doesn't hit the same. It doesn't hit the same when it's a silver. When it's gold, if she won gold, then we would have some noise to be like, why are y'all not talking about it?
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you watch, because I watched her little, I watched her special. I watched the running special on Netflix or one of those streaming services where they talked about these Olympic runners and what they were doing to
It was
get
it
there.
was Netflix. It was Netflix.
Yeah, and I didn't even know this until I watched this show that tenths of seconds separate these runners. And it could be a simple thing as not starting right, a simple thing as looking back. There's so many simple intricacies that can change a tenth of a second and make you lose. And so even though Shakari was hitting these numbers and these tenths of seconds, it's like you're no one's favorite to win because it's so delicate. So for her to go in there, not favorite to win because we heard these Jamaicans was coming, right? And for her to bring home silver is like that's not a loss. That's a great accomplishment. That's a goal for us. And like I said, tenths of seconds. Ain't like she got blown out. Ain't like she embarrassed herself. She lost by a tenth of a second. That's a simple thing of maybe taking a shorter step one time or something. You know what I mean? It's not like so. It's like damn for somebody that can't get a tenth of a second mistake for us to be like, oh, she should have got the gold. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Dude, somebody who competed in the sport, not the running aspect, but I was a thrower. Yes, it was high school level. Dude, we could sit down and one day and I could break all of this shit down to you and show you like, yeah, it's literally and especially when it comes to track and field, it's literally that minute.
Yeah.
It could be that 1/100th of a little fuck up that changes everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Your level of
I mean, there's
concentration,
so
man, it has to be on point.
If I
Like,
if I lost the race, I'd just be like, yo, man, I took off, I farted, and that messed all the whole joint up. Man, my bad.
yo, but that's but and but that and then with the Olympics as a whole, like that's the same way in every one of these disciplines. Like I was just watching before we started the I think it was 100 meter no 4x100 swimming medley relay. And I watched China go from third to winning the gold with again, it can be as simple as the third leg's turn after the first 50 and how they recover after the turn to then get to the
yeah,
last guy who happened to be the world record holder on China's team, who was coming back from they got to second place, and then his freestyle was just that much tighter than the France team, who was leading most of the most from the first 50 till about halfway of the last 50, and then China just took off. There could be you might have brought your arm around and stroked the wrong way. One shot,
Yeah.
one turn changed the whole race. One turn of the hand. That's the difference when you talk this professional level, Olympic level of sporting. That little micro can
Yes.
change everything. Everything. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's why
You know,
that's why I
it's
loved when ESPN used to do sports science.
yeah. I was gonna say, you know, and things like that we may not pick up, but the true, you know, people who study this game and every minute, like you said, every minute aspect of it. You know, your arm going too wide, or that turn at the 50 meter mark. They pick that stuff up. We don't see it. You know, we us being the average fan. You know, we just seeing a good race. You know, but yeah, I totally agree with you on that, man. Same thing with sprinting. That starting block. If you come off too slow on that starting block, or you wobble, you know, as you start in that first 25 meters, that will throw you off, especially 100 meters.
Dude, it's even coming off the block, you're set up from your down start to coming off the block. To even something that some people don't realize is like when you watch runners and they don't bring their head up for about their first 10 to 20 meters. That's them cutting through the wind. Some of the people who stand up too early, you're already now making
Mm-hmm.
it's
Drag.
a force thing between you and the wind.
Yes.
That now you have to fight even harder to cut through just the simple air, even if there's no wind aid or not. Like, yo, it's man, it's this is why I get sometimes my it's hard for me to watch certain sports as a fan because I've watched as a fan level for so long that I want to learn and understand the minutiae, the ins and outs, the things like that. That's why, like, when talking about wrestling, and like we started talking about SummerSlam and shit like that, and say talking specifically WWE, right? Yes, a match can look predictable, but like last night, I said in a group chat, Solo needs to learn how to make some of these moves not look like he's waiting for the next move. You know, like there was the move where I think Cody tried to springboard off the rope, but you see Solo standing there waiting to catch him like this instead of selling a little bit and then be like, oh, and catch him. There's a little minute difference in making yourself look like you was affected by the move and okay, let me just make sure I'm ready for the next one and being safe. You know, I watch from those type of details, even all these other sports and shit like that. That's like sometimes I turn my brain off if it's something that I'm trying to get familiar with. Other things that I've been around for so long, I look at it from a diagnosis standpoint to try to further understand and gain more knowledge of from what I've already known or what I may have been through, things like that. So it's like, so I implore everybody to sometimes, if you do really like any sport, turn your fan brain off for a little bit and just watch the motions. You know, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like go through the motions. Say in a race, right? Pick one runner and just watch their little details the whole race. Don't look at the whole 8 lanes full. Pick one runner, whether it's the top or not. Definitely, I would say start with whoever's perceived to be the top athlete. Watch that person. Watch him from start to finish. Then watch the next race. Try to pick up if you see anything different. This is why reps and practice is more important than people think.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all watch? What about the 3-on-3? Y'all like that? The 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics?
Dope idea, but I haven't seen any of it yet.
I thought it was a dope idea, but the Americans don't win. Like the female 3-on-3 basketball players getting their ass whooped. They 0-3. And
Mm-mm. They're 3-0.
Now
No, they
I have a
lost.
question. I have a question on that, right?
They
So
lost. They 0-3. They haven't won yet.
You sure? Because
so
I thought I looked that up just recently.
No, they lost. They 0-3. They ain't winning nothing.
so I have a question on that, right? So okay, so as a fan, I've been watching basketball since since Patrick Ewing was in Georgetown, right? But I never played the sport. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't good enough to play. Um so okay, it's 3-on-3, right? We all know it's half court basketball. We've all played half court basketball as kids, or whatever the case is. So why don't they have like professional, like even let's say somebody from the big three, you know, a veteran from the big three. Let's say I'm gonna throw a name out there, somebody like a Katino Mobley or something like that. Why they don't have these guys playing these basketball 3-on-3s? Why do they have, you know, relative no names that no one's ever heard of play 3-on-3 basketball? What is different from 3-on-3 basketball as opposed to 5-on-5 basketball, where you have the best of the
I don't
best?
know. I don't know. The only assumption that I have for, and Tyrone, you can go, but the only assumption I have is maybe this is the one part that's like they want to bring the sport back to the semi-professional slash amateur athlete. So like how full Team USA used to be the college athlete, it wasn't the
Mhm.
pros.
Right.
So maybe that's what they're trying to bring it back to, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like I guess they figure like they get enough NBA stars for the regular Olympic team that they just want to give some other guys a chance to like be a part of the Olympic experience. So they're like, we're going to start a 3-on-3 basketball team. Yeah, they could get Jalen Brown could have came and played on the 3-on-3. You know,
Exactly.
they could pick anybody. So I'm thinking that it's like what Dan said. It's more like, okay, let's give some of these lesser athletes a chance to be a part of the Olympic thing. So we throw in the 3-on-3 basketball, and let's just not send NBA players to that. Let's just send some lesser guys. But like you said too, why not get a guy like Katino Mobley? Why not get a guy like that? He ain't in the
Right.
NBA anymore. He's a lesser known player, but you know, I guess they want. I mean, they probably want to look at the youth too of it. You know what I mean?
But these aren't youth. These aren't guys in their teens or the early 20s. These are guys in their mid 20s, going into their 30s. You know what it is. What it is that it's. I'm sure money has something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? NBA has to deal with the Olympics, and it's an exclusive deal. You know what I'm saying? So the big three now, big three pretty much gets shut out. Then if that's the case.
What about and Henry Van Kiff had a good explanation for why they're losing in the 3-on-3. And I don't know, I mean it sounds good to me, but you guys might think it's bullshit. But what she said was when they play in the 3-on-3 games, they're only playing 10 minutes. And she said, so it's essentially like a one quarter of basketball. And she said, if you watch a lot of basketball games, the first quarters are always close. And
Mm,
usually teams pick up as the game goes along and win. So she said when they're trying to win a game in one quarter, it's kind of hard to do because it's tight. And so she said that's the reason why they're not winning because it's so short of a time frame that it's only one quarter and it's hard to like
Well,
get your stride
it's a
or
good
something.
excuse. It's a good excuse in my eyes, but it goes back to making sure you team chemistry, you create chemistry. It goes back to like I was just stating how you got to pay attention to slight details on that in how you play. How do you come out the starting blocks?
If a lot of NBA games was just win the first quarter, these motherfuckers would come out trying to kill you. You know what I mean? They would come out with that. You know how they say you got the what is the killer instinct or the mama mentality? You would have to start the game with that. You know what I mean? But but she was right though. She was like they got to get used to because they haven't been playing 3-on-3 long, so they got to get used to starting already on fire. You know what I mean? And that's why she said that they're not winning because they're starting like a regular basketball game, not realizing that you only got
Right.
one quarter to win this. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's sounds like they need to change their mind state and how
Yeah.
they coming out the gate.
They need to
They
play like
gotta they
Orange
gotta
Sigma.
think they gotta think they in the fourth quarter, not the first.
Yeah, you got to go like that. Flick. Because when you play basketball in the playground in the park, you was trying to kill them from the first start of the game. You weren't trying to get your stride. You like, oh, I'm gonna bust
That's
their ass.
it, right? Exactly.
Game only
We
go
I
to
gotta
10.
turn. We're playing a 21, and I gotta turn the page when it's 11:10.
Yeah, right.
Nah, don't
No.
work like that. But yo, on keeping it in Olympics, has anybody seen the breakdancing competition?
I didn't even know. I didn't even know about it.
You didn't know This was the first year breakdancing was an Olympic sport.
No.
I
Oh,
don't
I
know if
gotta
I
check
don't even know
that.
if it happened or not because I
Oh,
haven't tuned into I haven't done the tune into Peacock and
oh,
watch the individual shit from there.
oh, yeah, you're gonna know by tomorrow because I'm gonna find some of that today. If it's out there, I'm gonna find some of that shit today because I didn't even know about that. That's
Yeah,
something I definitely would
but
have been keeping.
but for me, I've been when I do get a chance to tune into a little bit or what I've been catching all the odd shit okay, cool, thank you, Ed. The breakdancing starts. Well, Brian said breakdancing starts on Tuesday. Yeah, breakdancing starts on Friday the 9th and the 10th. So good to know. So when I'm on my flight to Minnesota, might be able to catch a little bit.
You going to
But
Minnesota?
yeah, going back to Minnesota again for the homie's wedding. For the homie's
Mm.
wedding. But side note, you know what? Because let's close with just this random
No, I got to
conversation.
talk
Oh, I
about
don't know
Terrence
if you
Crawford.
back yet or whatever.
Can we talk about
But
Terrence Crawford first?
what's up?
Can we talk about Terrence Crawford first?
Go ahead. I don't know what you got on Terrence Crawford.
He had a fight last night.
I didn't know.
Oh my god. So Terrence Crawford went up to 154 last night to fight Israel Madrinov. And at 154, fighting Madrinov, it was a 12th round unanimous decision that Crawford had to use to win that fight, right? And he didn't look sharp at 154 at all. I mean, that guy put on a fight, and Crawford put on a fight, and it went 12 rounds. And Crawford did get the decision. I think it was the proper decision. But now, where I was in the mindset of Terrence Crawford is pound for pound the greatest, the best boxer right now, and fight anybody. Now, after seeing him at 154,
You're talking and you muted yourself while you're talking.
my bad. I think that if he after seeing what happened at 154 and seeing him not dominate, seeing him slower, seeing him have to win a decision and all that, I think that him going up to 168 to fight Canelo is a mistake now because I don't really think that he can carry that weight. And Canelo, what Canelo's doing at 168, I just don't see Crawford going up there and beating that man now. So all this time I wanted that fight. All this time I wanted Crawford to go up there and fight Canelo, but now I'm like, no, because Canelo, if he goes up there now, Canelo's going to tear him apart, dude. Because at 154 he did not look good at all.
Yeah, well, I didn't see the fight, but Ed 10 seems to agree with you. Bud Crawford gonna get mollywopped by Canelo. Yeah. So I got nothing on it because I didn't see it, and I got forget my segue because it actually tied off of something we was talking
Oh,
about.
I'm
So
sorry.
I'll ask y'all post show about it because I don't want it to. The shift is gone now. The shift
I'm
is
sorry.
gone.
I just wanted to get that in before I wanted to see. I really was talking to O
Yeah,
because I
that's
know
that's
he watches boxing, but he seemed to have the feds must be knocking on the door again or
well,
something.
like I said. For me, I didn't even know the fight was on because I was watching Shitty Slam. I mean SummerSlam.
Shitty slam.
SummerSlam.
Wow.
I ain't gonna lie, Logan Paul and his brother are pieces of shit, but Logan Paul's gear last night was fire with the Cleveland Browns colors.
I like
But
that.
because it was Cleveland Browns colors, I knew he was gonna lose. I knew he was gonna lose.
Oh, that's sad. That's real
Yeah, but
sad.
that's what I was on. And you know what? This was good enough. I didn't expect the larger bulk of conversation we had today, but whatever. It's cool. we segued something crazy off of a woman getting her ass whooped.
It was, it was
But
a
that's
good
good
conversation.
conversation though.
Yeah, we always segue to something.
No, I know. I'm just talking shit as we close out the show. Oh, if you still there on the mic, you know what to do.
Not. I
I
guess he's
think
not. But,
I think O ran to get the milk and the cigarettes. So Tyrone, you know what to do. We'll catch up with O in the background.
Yeah, once again, it's a good show, and like I said, sometimes playing devil's advocate may make me look like a certain type of person that I'm not. I'm just saying that we gotta have other points of views when we talking amongst men, and sometimes I gotta be the guy to bring up that other point of view, and it's all just opinion, and it's all based on how the world views things and what's going on and whatever like that, and that is what it is. I'm not here to disrespect nobody. I'm not here to like make any assumptions on anybody's life and none of that. I'm just, you know, here to give the other points of views, here to give the but what ifs and all that kind of shit. But I enjoyed it, and like I said, you guys understand it. And nobody gets mad, and that's a wonderful thing that we don't have to argue. We don't get mad. We can just have difference of opinion, points of views, and just kick that shit. And it don't matter. So I'm good for that. Shout out to TJ and Jamal, couldn't be here. Shout out to to O that's here now, to Ed and Brian in the comments. And yeah, I can't wait till next week. Maybe we'll get that tournament on.
Well, next week will be a what if maybe Sunday. We might have to go during the week, possibly. I am
Okay.
on vacation that week, but that Sunday, as I said, I'm already gonna be in Minnesota at a wedding. Congrats to my boy Jason and his future wife, Alex, Alexis, I think her name is in full. But yeah, I'm gonna know I'm gonna be out there next Sunday, so there may or may not be a show next Sunday. But yeah, coming soon. I think probably more closer to the beginning of the football season. We're gonna have that football video game tournament. We're gonna just discuss pause the size of the tournament. I know I got one more game to add in there for sure. But this is gonna be fun. So if you definitely was a video game person, played video games, played a bulk of these football video games, please come through and be a part of this shit, whether in the comments or even live on the show whenever we do it. We'll announce when that's gonna happen. Uh Again, Tyrone, thank you for being the opposite voice in said conversation, whether you believed it or not. Cause no, for real, because I like to take that stance too on a lot of, if I ever get to speak on certain people's shows or lives and shit like that. Sometimes because conversations like these do need full, like, well-rounded, like, not just echo chamber, everybody's got to be on the same page. How do ideas and thoughts and things get hashed out properly without listening to a little bit of everything, whether it's the same old rhetoric or not? That's how conversation should go. Peace of Jamal and TJ again couldn't be here this week. Uh, Thank you to the sponsor as always, hooksrub.com. 20% off your order. Use the code STAR5. Peace to Ishtar. Peace to Disabled Planets. Shouts out to Ill Magic. And we'll see Big O on the other side as soon as he comes back from the store. Or will he?
Uh,
Peace.
all right.